guys, today I've got 4 Dollar Tree DIYs to share with you. So I'm mainly using products from the dollar store. Everything is pretty simple and easy, so I hope you enjoy. We'll get into it. The first item I picked up from the Dollar Tree, these plastic drawer knobs or drawer pulls. They have a pretty sun star-like shape to them, although they're plastic and they're a little rough on the edges. And the first thing I did was sand down the edges a little bit. Now, I used the sandpaper that I had on hand, and if I had used a higher grit, a higher number, it would have been a lot smoother. So you'll see the end product is not perfection, but that's what I'd recommend for you guys. So I sanded it down, and then I had 2 scrap pieces of wood that are 1/2 by 2 inch, which you could also get wood at the dollar store too if you wanted. But I used what I had on hand, and I sanded those down as well. And then I took those knobs, stuck them in a piece of cardboard so they'd stand up, and sprayed them with this primer spray paint. And then once that dried, I went in with a white spray paint, but I wasn't happy with the finished look of that color. It was really cool toned and kind of clashed with the warmth of the wood. So I went inside, got some paints out, and I got this vanilla cream paint and added a little gold to it, mixed it up, and just applied that on top of the white with my paintbrush. So back to the wood, I just marked out with a pencil where I wanted the holes to go, and then drilled holes about the same width as the screw part of the drawer pulls. I did that to both pieces of wood, sanded down the edges of that a little, and I added a little glue to secure them into the hole, and then screwed the drawer pulls right in. So my plan originally was to attach both of the pieces of wood together, like stacked on top of each other, but I like the look of them apart actually, so I just mounted them separately. I used this mounting tape that I haven't used before actually, but it seemed to work well. I used 2 strips of the tape per piece of the wood, attached them to the wall, and popped it right in, and I made sure to really press on it throughout the process to keep it really gripping that wall well. I ended up putting it in my daughter's closet in her room, and it's alongside of her mirror so she can hang her accessories, and she really likes it. When she found it later that day, she was like, "Mom, how did you make this?" It was so cute. I liked the look of how it turned out. You could of course stain the wood, do different colors, and I think they have different drawer pull options, but I love using hardware as a way to hang things as well, like on the wall, or in this case, on a board. So I hope you enjoyed that. I thought the result was pretty cute. For our next DIY, I took a hexagonal plastic planter. I featured this in a previous video, and I like the shape of it, but I thought it could use a little sprucing up. So the first thing I did was made sure there were holes for drainage at the bottom. So I just grabbed my drill and drilled some holes. Around the edge of the bottom, they have circles with little X's, and I think that's designed for drainage. And those are easier to pop out too, even without a drill. But I wanted drainage in the center too, so I went ahead and drilled a few extra holes. And then when that was done, I brought it inside and decided to dress up the top of it. I didn't really like the yellow lip, so I took some jute rope, again from the dollar store, doubled it up so it would be thicker, and then attached it with some hot glue and just went all the way around and cut off the excess. I thought instantly it made it look a lot cuter and kind of distracts you from the fact that it's made out of plastic. So then I proceeded to fill it up with soil. I grabbed, for my plant stash, a nasturtium, which I love the lily pad leaf structure of those leaves. So I thought that would be cute in there. As you can see, it was a little root bound, so I teased the roots a little bit, popped it in, added a little fertilizer, worked that into the soil, and topped off the container with a little more soil, and then watered it deeply until water was dripping out of the holes at the bottom. And it was ready to go. I think my favorite part about this is that the jute rope on top is likely to get dirty because it's a planter, and that's what happens. It wears the dirt well. Okay, third DIY, I'm using a bunch of faux greenery from the dollar store and a metal wreath form. They also have the styrofoam rounds. It's a little smaller, but those are really easy to work with because you just strip the wire of the greenery pick and you can just stab it in where you want it in the foam. So that's another option too. But I decided to go ahead with the metal wreath form. And I didn't end up using the rope here or the floral tape, but I did use the floral wire, hot glue gun, of course, wire cutters, and pliers. So I just started with those ferny boulder leaves to kind of start a basis of structure and color, and then went in with some softer, featherier, subtle textures. And this is something that there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's fun and you can take as little or as much time as you want. I've made them before where I left it really scant and minimal, and that takes way less time if you're looking for something quick, but also still looks intentional and, you know, has that minimalist, trendy vibe, and also more cost effective because we'll be using less material. But here I went a little more in the maximalism kind of range, and I decided I want it to mainly be greenery and just have this one emptier section be kind of a cluster of flowers. As I mentioned before, Dollar Tree flowers are usually not the best, but I did find a couple that I thought were decent. So I used those. I added a pop of some white tiny flowers in there, and then some gold orangey faux status, and kind of spread that around a little bit into the green to contrast against the leaves. So here's the final result. I thought it looked pretty good for a dollar store DIY. It could be cute tucked into a bookshelf, hung on a door, anywhere. Comment down below what you thought of that and how you would have approached doing a wreath like that. Our last DIY is pretty simple. I used this black wall pocket hanger from the dollar store, of course. So I decided against painting it and went ahead and decided to embellish it with my favorite rope from the Dollar Tree. So pretty straightforward, just added some hot glue and did just a strip of the rope. You could cover the whole thing if you wanted, but I liked this little touch. I think it would be really cute in a grouping of 2 or 3 on a wall, or added to the side of a gallery wall or something. And it's great for faux greenery or even real plants. Anything with a small pot could fit into there pretty easily. And then also any air plants like I've showed here. These are a couple of my air plants that are easy to style in a little tiny pocket like that. So yeah, I thought those were cute and very versatile, and they're like a ceramic. I have a couple more things I want to do to them, so you might see those featured again. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and that I put a smile on your face, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey! Are you helping? Is that a sword? I might give it to my grandma. I always have to mention my grandma in my videos. Okay.